Hey guys, welcome back. It's Tab Sleep Lover, and we're going to be doing another abstract painting. This time we're going to keep the composition simple. Last video we did simple dynamic symmetry grid and an arabesque. This time we're going to do the dynamic symmetry grid and an ellipse, but we're also going to make this a minimalist painting. So fewer shapes, all concentrated. I'm going to do a center composition, but I'm going to make the color harmonize outward and make it look nice in the process. But let's get into it. Try and do this quick. So I'm going to do less instruction and more painting quickly. Well, maybe we'll get some more expressionistic marks, but I've got that modeling paste on the bottom. It's already dry, and then the base layer is dry as well. So now I'm going to just scrape over the top like I usually do with some blue. And we'll go from there, see if we get any interesting characteristics from the scraping. See how it comes out. Gotta go quick. I'm gonna finger rub on the corners, probably some purple. See if we can get any good colors popping through here. Maybe we'll keep this area, we'll see. And we got a lot of textures up here in this area. All right, let me do some finger rubbing. Rub a dub. Let's go with this reddish purple. Just gonna mix it with the blue a little bit. And if I have any white areas left over, I'll cover that up. Kind of like how that's looking over there, so let me try and match it. All right, do some of this normal purple with a lighter purple, and let's go with maybe some grayish pink. Balance it from left to right. All right, let's go with that for now. See how it develops. I'm gonna do the water. Probably need some more of this lighter aqua green. Don't want to use all my white. I got more in the tube, but don't like mixing it once I'm already started, you know? Let me get this flatter and then create a nice little mark across the top here. Oh, that's good enough. I'm gonna rub in some of this dark purple. I don't want high contrast near the edge. I'm just gonna control this as we go. Get messy here already, look at that. Gee. This over here, little finger rub. All right, let me go in and I'm gonna brush in some of these areas here, and then we'll draw the design. Just gonna soften the areas here. Got a little red on my brush. All right, let's just brush over whatever I don't want to keep. So kind of like this area where it's transitioning to that base layer and showing a little pink. So let's scrape over that just a touch. This is all fine to be blue. Keep that area maybe, not sure. Might be too busy for our minimalism here, we'll see. All right, just mixed up some more blue. I've got this, a new color, slightly different color, phthalo blue, and it's super intense, like French ultramarine, so just a little bit goes a long way. Just add a little tiny bit of blue to white in it. Made that intense kind of looking blue, so. I'm just gonna keep brushing in here. Just had to get that palette knife clean a little bit. Got some more white for us. Now I'm gonna paint over this since it's minimalism. Just keep this nice and distraction free. Just making this first layer soft so I can add more flowers on top and they stand out more than this background layer. Lightly feather on this. I'm just squinting down now and looking at the edges. Make sure there's not a lot of high contrast, straight edges or like harsh edges or anything like that. So I had a little intense blue on there. I like it though, so I'm gonna just match it. And I've got more red up here, so I'll just match that too. Still gotta draw the grid, so I'm not getting too involved with this. Just trying to knock back some of the hard edges here. That's looking good. And go over that area. All right, I'm squinting and looking at it. It looks pretty good so far. All right, let's do the grid. I'll run that in real quick. Don't blink, because you might miss it. I'm gonna draw this real quick. Diagonals, create a T, run it across, parallel, run it down, create a T, do the same over here, not there, parallel, and up here. That's the grid. Now all we got to do is create an ellipse and then we're off off to the races, laying in shapes. So let me just do an ellipse. And since we're going to do a center composition, we'll align it to all of these. I want it more up here, so we'll align it to these, come down almost to the center. Got the ellipse coming around here. I want it kind of like an oval shape too. So I'm going to go up here, not too high, not too close to that edge. And come down here, hit that major diagonal again. Okay, so we were encompassing that major diagonal there. We can tie it into the grid as we compose it. So we're off to the races. Let's create our first flower and grab any old brush. I got all kinds of brushes lined up. Let's do, we got this eye. Any intersection points considered an eye. So that's an eye. And we'll make sure it's centered here. This is more like the center right there. So that's where we're gonna put our first mark, and red gains a lot of attention. So we'll do that red. This is red, not straight out of the tube. It's got a little white mixed into it, but it's still pretty intense. There's our first mark. Let's keep this minimal. Let's do some white around it. And I'm gonna erase some of these lines. Okay, and then I'm gonna cover up this area since it's a little bit bigger than I wanted. Looks good. Okay, now I wanted to we'll add a little bit of this grayish pink down here. We'll do this, kind of make it soft, nice and soft, quick, and it's running up this ellipse here. Not too obvious, just gonna feather it in. And this one, let's do a little bit of this grayish red here, just to balance it. It will come up this way on that major diagonal. That looks fine. Just add a little bit more. So I'm gonna put a flower or another color right in the middle there. And maybe finger smudge some of this and make it look more expressionistic. Put some more paint on there, finger smudge some of this, add some more paint, finger smudge, and then I want a brush stroke on the top of that. That looks good. Now let's do pink inside of this. We'll do this kind of like a medium. I'm gonna do a few dots of this purple to reddish purple. Get a few dots outside of that. Could run it up this ellipse if we want. These small dots, they'll help add interest while keeping it minimal. Let's go with a little white. Erase this construction line here. I'm gonna finish the ellipse and then we'll go back in and develop the colors more. So for up here, I don't want it too high contrast, so we'll do the lighter purple, and I'll use a different brush, and we'll just squiggle in some colors here. Let me rub out this construction line. So the ellipse is pretty much done. We just gotta develop these flowers now. I'm gonna go with a bold red on top. Since this red is dark and it's surrounded by a dark purple, it doesn't stand out as much as like this one does. You see that? Squint your eyes, you'll see. And we can go in and create some pink dots. Let's do that. That's good for now. Add a little white up here. And a drop here. Let's come back down to this pink here. I'm gonna do a nice helping of red, not too thick. I want it nice and clean there. That's good. And then I'll put the orange in the center. I want to squish it down just a little bit more. There we go. Now we can add some white around that one. Well, maybe some pink. And I'm gonna actually expand the grayish pink real quick. That looks fine. Keep making that lower part fat. I don't want to make it fat, so I gotta come up on the brush more. One more swipe. All right, that's fine. Nice and sloppy. Go back in here. I'm gonna clean this up just a bit. There we go. And I'm gonna make this side more grayish pink so that pink stands out more. And get a little bit more pink there. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. I think we need some yellow on that puppy. Let's go over here. I want some more yellow. Nice little dollop. That's good. Erase these construction lines. Let's add in our green. Gotta add a little bit of green, and we'll make it the little leaves, and we can tie it into the design if we're able to. This one here, erase this reciprocal, erase this, and I'm gonna get a different brush. Let me take this and just brush this construction line. There we go. Now I gotta add a little bit of variety, gotta add that color variety. So I'm gonna add a little bit of lighter green. And let me add this down here, and then we'll just scratch into it a little bit. I'm gonna add a little bit up here, and a couple dots of dark green. Get a different brush. That looks fine. All right, now let's add a couple sprinkles on the outside, and we gotta do the water. Let's do the water first. I didn't brush this in yet, let me brush it in. Just trying to lightly scrape the layer of blue. I can go over with a palette knife. Let's go with the lighter blue first. Don't want it near that edge, so I gotta take care of that as soon as I'm done. And I can feel I'm not able to scrape across like I like to because I'm afraid of scraping into this palette. So let me just go across here. Scratch into that a little. Take care of this part. Get some different blues going on. Color variety, baby. Gotta love it. I add a little bit of this dark purple. I like adding the dark purple with the dark aqua green colors. And then you add a splash of pink in there or something. That looks pretty nice. So we'll go with this reddish purple, the dark one. It's got a lot of red chunks on there. Why the heck? I don't know why I got red chunks on there. Let me scrape this again. And let me just try and go for the center here. And I want it balanced, so I got to do a little bit more on the right side. Almost out of it. It looks fine. I'll go over this with blue, more blue. Get it flat on my palette. Knife. Looks pretty good. Now I want to add a little touch of green, just a little touch. We'll go in the center here, maybe up here. And then some white. I use a small palette knife for this. Just keep squinting if you're doing this with me. Make sure you're keeping this horizon line nice and soft. That looks fine. Now I'm going to add some of them pinks I was talking about. So let me grab this kind of like a medium red. I'll add just a touch right down here by the purple. Right over here. And I'm going to use some red on this right side here, just a little. That's good. Now I like to add a little bit of this, perhaps on the horizon line. Well, it looks fine. Contaminating my colors here, I didn't wipe good enough. Just pushed my paper towel on the water. That's all right though. Okay, water's good for now. Might have gotten too much of this green, so I'm just scraping some off and adding some blue. And cover this up. There we go. Now we're almost done. Just got these construction lines, right? We want to add just little sprinkles of color along there. Let me add just a touch of this grayish yellow inside here. Let's see if we can just add just a touch. That's too close to the edge for my taste, so smudge that. We'll just do this, smudge it, and then add some more up here. Okay. Smudge that out a little. I don't want it too close to the edge, what I'm trying to do here. And I want a nice brush stroke, not that one. Okay, that's good. So let me grab this skinny brush. This longer brush is good for laying paint onto paint. If you don't have one, you might want to use one. It's a soft touch. That's what you need to lay paint onto paint sometimes. Just gonna brush in a couple of areas here just to add some nice color interest. And I don't like this grayish pink on the corner, on the edges there, so I'll probably smudge that out. Let me use some dark green and see how that starts to look. It's gonna mix with the pinks and create like a grayish green, which is fine. That looks nice. A little more color harmony, but I do not like this. It's too high contrast there. So let me just add a little bit of blue to my finger and smudge over this, smudge over that. That's looking good. A little bit more. There we go. Nice look, you know? See up here, we could probably use some. Over here, just adding some textures and some interest without adding high contrast. Squint and you'll see. All right, let's add some sprinkles of color around the dynamic symmetry grid, and then we'll be good probably. Just gotta do an overall check. Let's do a color cluster of purples. Let's see. We've got that. Get rid of this construction line. And probably can, let's do this pink around it. More red around it. And maybe that's good enough for now. Let's balance it with the other side. And I'm gonna add it up here. And we don't have any yellowish green, so we'll add that. And get rid of the construction line. We can do coincidences. So like this flower meeting this flower, that's a coincidence. You can do certain edges, whatever you want, but that's fine for me. And add some orange in the middle. And I'm going to actually adjust that just a little bit. There we go. Let me add a little bit of green. Let's go with little squiggles. Squiggles. Let's do a couple dots. Maybe let's add some red near, some intense red. And let's do some right here. I know purple, this reddish purple looks good near the yellow green, so we'll do that. Just add a couple dots on this major diagonal here. We haven't added too much yellow yet either, so we gotta add that pretty soon. And these edges, see here, I'll add yellowish green up here. Just a few dots. Little squiggle and maybe a little bit there. And I like this reddish purple near the green, so I'm gonna go around this actually. And then I'll do a center better. That looks fine. Okay, we're squinting, looking. Looks like we need something right around here. So maybe we can add, we haven't added any intense blue really. So I'll add intense blue right there. That's in the eye of that reciprocal and the major diagonal. And then I'll add a little bit of white around there. A little thicker. That's good. We could just add a little bit of blue here, a little blue here, maybe some white. Erase this construction line. We can add some blue here to keep it intact, you know. Add some blue here to erase the construction line, but keep it intact. Do this down here, keep that intact here. Just adds texture, covers up the construction line, adds texture, can also create movement. Same with this. And we'll do that here. I want to soften this up a little, this pink. And let me mix some of this pink and blue together. Just a little soft. Over here too, let's soften this up. See how that's softening up? Looking good. All right, squint and you shall see. Looks good so far. Let me go around this grid a little bit more. Add some sprinkles. What color sprinkles? Let's see here. I'll do some purple, some light purple. Get rid of this construction line. Might as well just cover it all up. Okay, keep it in simple, right? You know what I'm starting to see? In the last video, I told you that sometimes after your design starts to develop, you'll start to see certain design techniques take shape. So I'm starting to see a triangle develop, and it's cool because the grid will promote these techniques like 90-degree angles, coincidences, triangular enclosures, all that good stuff. So I'm seeing a triangle kind of take shape now that I put that there. This is taking shape here, running up this way, and then coming down this way. So let me just complete that shape with just a few small touches of color. We'll run this up here and add just a little bit of interest around it. And then maybe a couple more dots here. I need a nice dollop of paint. And let me check the yellows, because the yellows might be good to start adding right now. Definitely need some yellow in this area. So we've got the bottom of that newly formed triangle here. So let me just add a little yellow. And the other side of the triangle is here, so let's add some of this. And I need some of that lighter yellow. Come over here. All right, that triangle is pretty much complete. We've got a new triangle there now, so that's pretty interesting. Add a little bit of yellow here. All right, let's take a look here. Nice and simple. Let's go with a little bit of more interest on the edges. I feel like it still needs some interest on this area. So like if we divide it by the center and we look and we measure all the interest, most of it stops right here. While on this side, most of the interest stops right here. So we're just a little bit unbalanced. We need stuff maybe on this section here. And it could be just anything. We'll do like a pink dot. That's looking good. And we'll go with, let me add this here. I'll just add a couple dots. All right, now the balance is looking nice, huh? You feel it? Do you see it? Okay, I'm just squinting. Trying to keep this minimal, scratching those sides. And I think I'll add just a little bit of pink dots on these purple sections on the outside. Not the bright light pink, we'll add kind of like a mid pink. Okay, now let's scrape into some of this. All right, so if you're color checking, you can go around. This one's more like simple, so we're not gonna be able to make color harmony in each little section like I like to do. And we can just expand, make it look good in that certain area, and then make this look good in that certain area. So if we're doing that, let me do it down here so I can see. We'll add a little bit of yellow, just a touch of yellow up here, and that can be balanced a little bit better. If we look at the yellow on this left side, we've got more yellow on the left side than we do on this side. So let's add just a touch more yellow. I'll add one of these up here, this little guy over here. Same exact color almost, so it's not gonna add too much distraction. And we'll add some of this reddish over here. Add one more of these. Okay, now we're getting there. Let's scratch that. Add a little bit more interest. There we go. I don't want too many dots looking the same. That's why I scratched those. All right, let me check this again. Yellow looks pretty distributed evenly. This can actually kind of want to cover up this part. Yeah, I like that better. Now we'll do this over here. Nice little balance there, right? Incorporate the edge of that triangle. Okay, now let us look again, shall we? So that's what we're looking at right now. Looks pretty good, minimal. I kind of like a little, I don't know if this will push it overboard, but I do kind of like a little squiggle of yellowish green. And we'll do some dark green by it. Just want to squint and make sure this isn't going to throw it out of whack here. Just put a drop of this on there. Yeah, just like that. We'll add a couple scrapes of white here. All right, that makes me satisfied. Okay, that's what we're looking at there. Looks good. And then here, I think we need to, if we cut this flower out, this here, it looks a little unbalanced, just a touch, maybe add something right here and we should be good. I'm gonna add a little bit of this grayish blue. This should finish it. Use a different brush. Use some of this grayish blue. And we'll add it right on the edge of this triangle here. Make it nice and soft. And to soften that even more, I'm gonna add some to this blue and mix it. There we go. I'm gonna add some more in the center. I'm gonna add some white because this is gonna be an orange flower inside the blue. Now I'll grab the smaller palette knife and I'll use this lighter orange. And that's how we do that. Let me add just a touch more blue so it creates a little gradient outward. touch more blue there. And then this, feather it out a little. Cool. How are we looking? Huh? Minimal? Did I go overboard again? No, it's not overboard. Oh, I can get crazy, trust me. All right, now all we gotta do is one more thing, and we'll find a couple spots just so the color is harmonized from down here to up here. So we gotta add this color up here, and it's all gonna harmonize together. That's the point of all this. So let's find a good spot for this one. And I'm just hovering over the area. Looks good here. We'll find another one. Oh, let's see, on this purple. A couple of dots, and maybe, let's see, maybe over here. Now one more. Just looking at the balance, make sure the colors balance pretty good. And let's go right here. There we go. All right, that's it for today. What do you guys think? You like that minimalism better? You like the quick expressionistic marks better? Let me know in the comments below what you guys want to see next. Make sure you check out that website. Got all kinds of good stuff on there for you. And that's it for today. I really appreciate your support, and I'll talk to you later.